State's virtual preview. We are so glad that you have joined us this evening. Tonight, we have a special program planned for you. We are going to talk a little bit about the enrollment process at Pellissippi State. We'll talk about the programs that we offer, as well as talk about financial aid. And then we also have a special guest with us tonight from the University of Tennessee, Darren Dunlap, who is going to talk to us about the transfer process if you're thinking about transferring to the University of Tennessee after attending Pellissippi. If you do have any questions, please put them in the Q&A box, and we will have a time for questions and answers at the end. So now I'm going to turn it over to Connie Miller, who is going to start us with our presentation.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight for our virtual spring preview. We're really glad to have you all here with us. We're excited about the upcoming fall semester. We did start registration on Monday, but it's not too late to go ahead and start the application process. So let me get started with the presentation. These are our panelists this evening. We have Debbie Benedict, who just spoke. She's an enrollment services coordinator at Pellissippi State. I'm Connie Miller. I'm also an enrollment services coordinator at Pellissippi State. We're very fortunate tonight to have Darren Dunlap with us. He's the Assistant Director of Community College Outreach at the University of Tennessee in their Transfer Center. And we also have Sarah Davis. She's the Manager of Recruitment Services here at Pellissippi State. So I'm going to go ahead and start a short video, just a little bit about Pellissippi.
Welcome to Pellissippi State Community College. We're glad you're here. At Pellissippi State, we help you start strong, stay strong, and finish strong in your educational journey. We offer a personalized approach that meets you where you are and helps you determine where you want to go. Whether it's transferring into a four-year institution or transitioning into the workforce after earning your degree, Pellissippi State faculty and staff are with you every step of the way. You may not realize it, but Pellissippi State is the largest community college in the state, and yet we still feel like a small school. Students take classes at the Blount County, Hardin Valley, Magnolia Avenue, or Strawberry Plains campuses, or online from the comfort and convenience of their own home. Of course, your experiences don't end at the classroom door. If you like to explore other cultures, we have study abroad opportunities across the globe. For those with an interest in the arts, we have an art series with music and theater performances, as well as visual art exhibits. Whatever your interest, at Pellissippi State will help you start strong, stay strong, and finish strong.
Great. I hope you enjoyed the video. That highlighted just some of the things that Pellissippi State has to offer. Why Pellissippi State? Well, there's a lot of really good reasons. Academics at Pellissippi State are phenomenal. We have professors who are have masters in the area where they're teaching, so their knowledge is fantastic. But what's really great is their accessibility is phenomenal also. So you have a great classroom size. The student to teacher ratio is about 22 students per classroom. So you really have the opportunity to relate with your professors, your fellow classmates, and build those relationships that will help you to succeed in whatever your path leads ahead of you. Our placement rates in our career programs are fantastic. So in our career programs, you do an internship in your final semester, and that gives you an opportunity to try out a company and see if that's the right fit for you. And it also gives them an opportunity to look at you while you're getting some on-the-job training. The value, fantastic. So at Pellissippi State, about 80% of our students attend debt-free. Convenience, like the video said, we have 4 campuses. We have 3 located in Knoxville and 1 out in the Blount County area. And Darren's going to explain to you at the end of the presentation how easily our credits transfer on to the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and also to the four-year institutions in the area. This shows what the fall tuition was for 2022. So when this graph shows just tuition, so that doesn't include like housing or anything like that. So at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, which is a phenomenal university, the tuition each semester was $6,622. Now, Pellissippi State, it was $2,228. So you can begin at Pellissippi State as a traditional student fresh out of high school the fall semester after you graduate and use your Tennessee Promise and come debt-free for 2 years to Pellissippi for tuition. If you're an adult learner, 23 or over, you can use our Tennessee Reconnect to attend for free for until you get your associate's degree. And then you can transfer those credits on to a four-year institution, and those credits transfer really smoothly. So at Pellissippi State, we have some different pathways. We have our career program. That's a 2-year program designed to get some really good hands-on skills and an Associates of Applied Science degree, and then to continue on to the workforce after graduation. We also have our transfer pathways. Those are designed for you to do 2 years with Pellissippi, earn an Associates of Arts or Science degree, and then continue on to a 4-year institution to get your bachelor's degree. So this shows the difference between a career program and a transfer pathway. In our career programs, you're going to spend about 75% of your time in those courses that are specific to your major. The other 25% of the time will be in your general education courses. So most of those career programs have about 5 academic courses, and then the other courses involved for that Associates of Applied Science degree are those real hands-on ones that you're going to use out in the workforce. Our transfer pathways are kind of the opposite. You're going to spend about 75% of the time in academic courses that you need for a bachelor's degree, and then the other 25% of the time will be in those that are specific to your major. So here's a list of the career programs at Pellissippi State. Our nursing program is an RN program. We have fantastic scores for our NCLEX. 98% of our students that finished our nursing program this year finished the NCLEX and passed it on their first time. We have welding, we have criminal justice, we have culinary arts. So there's a lot of things that might interest you in a career program. Remember, those are designed to go out into the workforce when you're finished. They're not designed to transfer on to a 4-year institution. These are our transfer pathways. So these ones are designed to transfer onto a 4-year institution to get your bachelor's degree. And you'll see that there is a wide variety of things that you can do with Pellissippi using your Reconnect or your Tennessee Promise or other scholarships that you may have to get a couple good years under your belt, earn an Associates of Arts or Science degree, and then continue on to the 4-year institution to earn your bachelor's. A lot of our career programs have some certificates built right in, but there are students who like to come just to do a certificate program. So one that's really popular is our medical insurance coding and reimbursement. We have several, a good variety of people that come to do just that certificate. It does qualify for financial aid, but it's very specific to courses that a student is going to use in that area. And they earn a certificate at the end rather than a degree. Pellissippi State is known for its college resources. One of our big themes at Pellissippi State is we want to help you build a strong foundation so that you're successful in whatever your next path is. So we have fantastic college resources. We want our students to always meet with an advisor each semester, just to share their plans, their next steps, if they're, what institution they plan on continuing on to, just to make sure that they're following the right path, they're taking the right courses, and that advisor can really help them to put together a really nice schedule. Our counseling services at Pellissippi State, we have academic, personal, and professional counseling. So they can assist with a wide variety of things. And they are there to help you in case you're not sure of what type of major you're interested in. They have some assessments that you can take. They have some great study skills tips, best places to study, note taking, stress relievers, so they can help you with all kinds of things. We have free tutoring on our all 4 of our campuses, plus online. We have a disability services office that can assist students with accommodations to help those accommodations they had maybe in high school to continue on while they're in Pellissippi attending college. We have our own pantry. So if ever a student is in need of some edibles, we do have our own pantry. We do our own garden in the spring. So we are there to assist students to make sure that they have what they need to be successful. We have our student care and advocacy department. We have a student opportunity fund. We have TRIO services, veteran services, and we offer a lot of workshops to help students with areas that they might need. Stay Strong. So we have our Start Strong area, which helps you get everything in to help you get enrolled into college. Then we have the Stay Strong area that helps you to stay successful throughout your time at Pellissippi. So they have success coaching. They do a student orientation. So all of our new students either do a virtual or on-campus student orientation to help them to get acclimated to Pellissippi State. We have multicultural programs and support, mentoring, and academic planning. So they will really assist our students to make sure that their academic plan fits into their needs and other things that they have on their plate that they need to fit into being successful. Financial aid, well, like I said, about 80% of our students attend debt-free. So they're either using Tennessee Promise or Tennessee Reconnect. We have a ton of different scholarships. So in your My Pellissippi account, under the financial aid area, there are financial aid forms. In there, you will find a scholarship application. We recommend that everybody fill out that application. And then we always recommend that all of our students do a FAFSA. That is a way to see if they might qualify for possible the Pell scholarship and some other scholarships that can go along with that. So we really want to make sure that our students have access to these types of scholarships to help with their aid so they're not paying full tuition while they're at Pellissippi State. This is our open computer lab at the Hardin Valley campus. This area is for student use. So it has about 75, 80 computers in there for students to use. So in between classes, after class, before class, you can go in there, start on your homework. You can print for free. There's usually someone at the desk that can assist you if you need some help with something. At Pellissippi, it's not required for you to bring a laptop to campus. If you'd like to, you're more than welcome to, but it's not required. But we also do have our library services does have some laptops that students can check out and reserve and use the semester just as if it was their own, and then just bring it back at the end of the semester and check it back in. So, just another added resource to help students be successful. SEAL, Student Engagement and Leadership. They organize our clubs, leadership experiences. They have a student government association, also the Student Rec Center. So all 4 of our campuses have student rec centers. Now, depending on the size of the campus, the Student Rec Center may be a little smaller, but you have access to all the resources at all 4 campuses, no matter which campus you're attending. The one at the Hardin Valley campus is very large. The Student Rec Center has indoor basketball, racquetball, a full workout facility. So you won't need to pay for a gym membership while you're attending Pellissippi. It's included in your tuition. SIL also does a lot of the fun stuff at the college. So fall festival, spring fling, a lot of times they're giving out free food, t-shirts. So, they really create a great college environments for our students to get involved in. Student recreation, we have disc golf at Pellissippi. They do fantastic. We have a fencing club. We have a photography club, debate club. So we have all kinds of things for students to get involved with. So they really start to feel part of Pellissippi's community. And coming this fall, so exciting, Pellissippi State is going to have athletics. So we are going to have men's and women's soccer. We are going to have men's golf, women's volleyball. We're going to have half marathon and cross country. So we are really excited about this, and we want students to start applying now, filling out an application, so that if they're interested in being on one of those teams, that we get the opportunity to let them see about being a part of those teams. So it's really exciting that this is now coming to Pellissippi, and it will be starting this fall. These are just some pictures of our garden and pantry. And also, if students want to do some community service or assist, they can always volunteer to assist in the garden and pantry. So that is there for students. Anytime that they have a need, they can fill out an application for the pantry in their My Pellissippi account. And that way they don't ever have to worry about food. The arts at Pellissippi are fantastic. So at Pellissippi, we have a bluegrass band. We have a variations group. We do a lot of plays, acting. So there's, you can do the background. So there is a little something for everyone there, but the arts at Pellissippi are just amazing. So we really want students who are interested in these areas to get involved, but also we want our students to come see the performances. So students and the community are invited to these. Study abroad with TENSAS. So Pellissippi State is either second or third every year for community colleges in the nation sending students to study abroad. So at the end of a student's freshman and sophomore year, they can take a trip to places like France, England, Spain, Ireland, Italy, Greece, and they can do either a 2, 3, or 4 week trip where they're taking a college course, but they're over in that country enjoying the food, the culture, the music. They're phenomenal trips. TENSAS is housed at our Hardin Valley campus. They have scholarships to help students to make the trips very affordable. So this is really something that you'll want to check into. They usually are out on campuses, usually starting in about October, really talking about trips and the class that you would take according to that trip, and just assisting you with applying for taking a study abroad. Where do I start? Well, this is kind of a nice list of things that you will want to do to get set up at Pellissippi. Application is online. We don't have an application fee. We will want all your transcripts in high school, college. If your ACT scores are within the last 5 years, we can use those. If not, we do have an entrance exam called the AccuPlacer that our students can take. It is free and it's not timed. And it's kind of like an ACT for those who don't have scores that are within the last 5 years. We also have fantastic advisors, so they will assist students with registering. Our financial aid department will assist them if they have any verification items that they need to turn into our financial aid's office. So this is just a nice list to kind of go by, so that when it's your setting up your enrollment, that you kind of have an idea of where to begin. And important dates. So April 3rd, we just opened up registration for the fall semester. The fall semester begins August 16th. So there's plenty of time to still apply and get your documents in and get registered. The financial aid deadline, now that is a priority deadline. So we'd like you to have your financial aid, your FAFSA done, your verification items in by July 3rd, so that those things can be processed and ready to go, so that when you go in to confirm your attendance, that your aid will already be there. So that July 3rd is a priority deadline for financial aid. Here's our contact information. So we have the email for the Start Strong office. They can assist you with anything that you have questions on or procedures that you might need to follow. You can text us at 865-270-6400. We have our chat at pstcc.edu /admissions. And then we also have, you can call us at 865-694-6400. So these are ways that you can get in touch with us so that we can assist you with anything that you need. Now I would like to introduce Mr. Darren Dunlap. He is the Assistant Director of Community College Outreach at the University of Tennessee in their Transfer Center. So Darren, if you're ready, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. Thank you for being here tonight, Darren.
Okay, all right. Thank you, CJ. Hi, I'm Darren Dunlap, and I work in UT's Transfer Center, and I work with Pellissippi State students all the time. We have a coordinator on site at Pellissippi State. Her name is Mara Maurer. She has an office there, and so she can meet with students while they're on campus. Applying is easy, and we often meet with students so that they can plan their transfer. If I had to give out one piece of advice tonight, it would be that you start your transfer early, that you start planning as much as a year out from the date that you plan to start at UT. If you need anything from us, reach out to us. We meet with students all the time, and you can find all of our resources at transfer.utk.edu, and you can always email me. My email is right there, ddunlap. It's actually ddunlap8. I'm sorry, CJ, I gave you the wrong one. ddunlap8@utk.edu, and we're glad to help you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Darren. And sorry about the email address on there. I think that was my fault. It wasn't yours. Now we are going to turn it over to questions. So if put your questions in the Q&A box, and we can assist you with answering those.
Thank you, CJ. I do have a question really quick for Darren Dunlap. Darren, are there scholarships available for students that transfer to UT? Darren, are you there?
Sorry, I couldn't unmute there. I apologize. There are quite a few. The one that that you hear the most about is the Volunteer Transfer Scholarship. We also have some full scholarships that fall under our TriStar Scholarships category, and that includes the UT Promise, a little bit different from the Tennessee Promise, the UT Promise, and we have an annual scholarship application that you fill out. Some of the longest conversations I have are about financial aid, so anytime you want to talk about that, it's okay to do that well in advance. Thank you.
Thanks, Darren. I have a couple more questions. One question is, how do I turn in my transcripts? That's a great question. If you are at a local school here, you can use, I think Knox County uses a system called SCOIR. I'm not sure I'm saying it right. It's SCOIR. In your SCOIR account, you can put Pellissippi, you can put you've applied to Pellissippi, and that will notify your counselor, or you can just swing by your counseling office, ask your counselor to send those transcripts to us. If you're not a local school, if you're maybe an out-of-state school, you can have your counselor, it still has to come from the high school directly to us, but you can have your counselor email that directly to that Start Strong email. And again, that is startstrong@pstcc.edu. And that email is on our admissions page on our website. All right, let's see what other questions we have. All right, I have another one. Can I go ahead and register for classes without having my financial aid ready? Yes, absolutely. just make sure, oftentimes people are working on their financial aid while they're working on that admissions process, and that's completely fine. Just make sure you're aware of that July deadline for financial aid. Again, it is a priority deadline, but if you can get that everything turned in, your FAFSA complete by July, that's fantastic. But if you want to go ahead and register for classes now, even if you haven't done your FAFSA, that you can do that as well, and that would be great. Let's see, what other questions? Let's see. Connie mentioned verification, and somebody asked, what is verification? So I was just going to touch on that real quick. So verification is related to your FAFSA. And basically what FAFSA says is we randomly select 30% of all students or everyone that is filling out the FAFSA to be selected for verification. And it's almost like a mini audit of your FAFSA. At the most, there might be a worksheet in your My Pellissippi accounts, your portal to the college. They may need, financial aid may need tax returns from the student or the parent, W-2s, and there's a variety of other things that you could need to turn in, like a driver's license or something like that. So if you're selected for verification in your My Pellissippi portal, at the very top where it says student alerts, you should have an alert that says financial aid. You have unsatisfied requirements for the 23-24 aid year. Click here to complete. If you see that alert, definitely click on that link so that you can go ahead and get those items turned into us. All right, a few more questions. Oh, yes. So I have another question about Pellissippi's email. So after you apply, you'll wait about a week and you should get an email after you apply from us saying, here's a link to look up your Pellissippi State username and P number. And it also tells you how to set up that portal, that My Pellissippi portal. When you set up the portal, you also want to be checking your Pellissippi email. So when you go to My Pellissippi on our website, if you click on My Pellissippi link from our website, then you can go directly to My Pellissippi, or you can go to your Pellissippi email from there. That's the easiest way to get there. And you definitely want to be checking that Pellissippi email. If you have applied, we are already sending you Pellissippi emails. And that's how we're going to communicate with you, is through that portal and through your Pellissippi email. That's how we're going to be communicating with you moving forward. All right, a couple more questions is, how do I complete new student orientation? So if you go to sign up for orientation, you do need to go to our website, and it's our website, pstcc.edu/orientation. And from that website, you will be able to sign up for orientation. I don't think it's quite ready for this coming fall. So if you guys will wait till maybe near the beginning of May, we should have that website updated for fall. Okay, let me see what we have. A few other questions. So somebody asked, can you register for fall classes without meeting with an academic advisor? Yes, you can go ahead and register for classes without meeting with an advisor. We do think it's always a good idea to go ahead and make an advising appointment, and you can go ahead and register for classes, but just check with an advisor to make sure that you register for the correct classes that you need, just so that everybody's on the same page. It can get kind of tricky, especially if you're doing a transfer program. So you can absolutely register if you're worried about those classes filling up, but you don't have to meet with an advisor. But it is always a good idea to meet with that advisor just to make sure you're in the right classes. All right. Okay, so this next person, I believe, wants to start in the fall, but was having a baby, and okay, so her due date's August 26th. So I would honestly, and they didn't post their name, so I would wait till spring semester that starts in January, because classes start August 16th for Pellissippi. And we do have an attendance policy. So if you miss, it's up to the instructor, but if you miss too many classes, you might not be able to pass that class. So I do think it's best to hold off if you know up front that you're going to miss a month of classes to go ahead and start in the spring of 24. And the next question is, how would we go about scheduling our students' class times? Yes, so that is, I might have already answered that, but that's when you meet with that academic advisor. They will help you help you register for classes. They will help you decide, do you want to take your classes on Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday? Pellissippi is going to a 4-day academic week, Monday through Thursday in the fall. So we will not have classes Friday. So most of your classes will be Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. These are great questions, you guys. Any other questions? I'll look real quick. Oh, the last question that I got is, I applied, but how do I know if I got accepted? That's a great question, and I get that question all the time. So after you apply, we are waiting on your high school transcripts before you get an acceptance letter from us. So if you applied, like some people applied back in October, if you didn't send us your transcripts, you're probably still waiting to hear from us. Go ahead and send us your transcripts now. They don't have to be your final official transcripts with the graduation date. You can send us what we call a course in progress, which shows that you're, getting ready to graduate. And then after you graduate, we can get that final transcript. But if you go ahead and send us your transcripts now, then you can go ahead and register for classes, and we can go ahead and get you your official acceptance letter, and that comes in the mail. All right, these are great questions, everybody. I don't see any more questions, so thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And if you do have additional questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us, either phone, email, chat, however you can get in touch with us. Thanks so much, you guys. Bye.